There is a haunting, rhythmic paradox vibrating at the very center of your chest. It is a feeling you have carried since you were a child. A silent static in the background of your happiest moments and the deafening roar during your darkest nights. It is the undeniable sensation that you do not belong here. You feel, within the heavy, iron, rich chemistry of your blood, that you are designed for eternity, yet you are trapped in a vessel that is terrified of time. You feel that your home is the vast, silent architecture of the stars, yet you are chained by the gravity of a dying rock. You have spent your entire existence gazing into the mirror, looking at the lines forming on your skin, the graying of your hair, the gradual decay of the biological machine, and asking the wrong questions. You look at history books and ask, when was I born? You look at the night sky and ask, when did the universe begin? You are desperate for a date. You want to coordinate in time. You want a singular, explosive start point that explains the confusing violence of your existence. But what if the very concept of a beginning is a hallucination? What if the idea of a start is merely a neurological limitation of the human brain? A safety mechanism designed to keep you from going insane from the sheer vertigo of infinity. Buddhism does not offer you the comfortable, linear bedtime stories you are used to. It does not give you a garden, a snake, and a moral test. It does not give you the cold, mechanical accident of Darwinian biology where you are nothing more than a clever ape that learned to wear pants. It offers you something far more radical. It offers you an archaeology of the soul that predates the earth itself. It suggests that the theory of evolution is only half the story. It explains the hardware, but it ignores the software. The ancient texts suggest that you did not evolve upward from the slime. They suggest that you descended. You fell from a frequency of blinding radiance, pulled down not by gravity, but by the stickiness of your own desire. Today, we are not merely discussing philosophy. We are performing an autopsy on the human condition to reveal the terrifying and beautiful truth of where you truly come from and why, after billions of years of wandering, you are still looking for a way home. For thousands of years, the human species has stood on the precipice of the unknown, screaming into the void, demanding to see the manager. We build telescopes the size of cathedrals to peer into the chaotic back alleys of the early universe, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Big Bang. We build particle accelerators to smash atoms, desperate to find the God particle, the signature of a creator, the ink on the contract of existence. Religions offer distinct, rigid architectures of Genesis. They give you a timeline. Science offers the violent expansion of singularity and the slow, grinding blood-soaked march of natural selection. But when you turn the diamond of wisdom to the facet of the Buddha, the light refracts in a way that blinds the intellect and speaks directly to the gut. The Buddha refused to play the game of metaphysical trivial pursuit. He saw the obsession with origins as a trap, a labyrinth of the intellect constructed by the ego to keep the mind busy while the house was burning down. In the ancient Pali Canon, specifically in the Aggañña Sutta, the Buddha famously remained silent when asked if the cosmos was eternal or not eternal. Why? Was he ignorant? No. His silence was a roar. To the awakened one, the question itself was a symptom of the sickness. To explain this, he gave us the parable of the poisoned arrow, a metaphor so visceral it should make your skin crawl. Imagine a man walking through a dense, humid jungle. The air is thick with the smell of wet earth and rotting vegetation. Suddenly, the silence is shattered by the thwack of an arrow piercing his chest. The arrow is coated in a thick, black, neurotoxic poison. He falls. His blood begins to mix with the dirt. His vision blurs. His family rushes to his side, weeping, and they bring a surgeon to extract the weapon. But as the surgeon reaches for the shaft, the dying man pushes him away. He gasps, eyes wide with the madness of intellect, and screams, "Stop! Do not touch this arrow! I will not let you pull it out until I know the name of the man who shot it." Was he tall or was he short? Was he a Brahmin priest or a lowly outcast? What village does he come from? And the bow, what specific type of wood is it made of? The feathers on the arrow, are they from a vulture or a hawk? Tell me the geometry of the trajectory. Tell me the physics of the impact. The man dies. He dies foaming at the mouth, asking questions about wood and feathers while the poison stops his heart. This is the human condition. This is you. We are bleeding out from the wound of dukkha, of dissatisfaction, of suffering, of an unquenchable thirst for something more. We are dying from the poison of ignorance, yet we waste our precious, fleeting seconds arguing about the geometry of the Big Bang or the distinct theology of a creator. The Buddha's teaching is not a philosophy class, it is emergency surgery. It creates a triage situation for your soul. It prioritizes the extraction of the poison over the biography of the archer. However, and this is crucial, this does not mean Buddhism is silent on the nature of reality. Far from it. When the Buddha did speak of the cosmos, he described a system so vast, so terrifyingly cyclic, that it shatters the linear Western timeline entirely. In the West, we view time as a straight line, start to finish, alpha to omega, to death. In the Dhamma, time is not a line. Time is a serpent eating its own tail. It is a circle of fire. The universe does not have a birthday. It has a rhythm. It breathes. It arises, it stabilizes, it decays, and it dissolves only to arise again in a horrific and majestic loop that has no discernible beginning. You have not lived one life. You have not lived 1,000 lives. You have lived a number of lives so vast that if you were to pile the bones of your previous bodies, the calcium mountain would pierce the stratosphere and dwarf the Himalayas. To truly understand where humans come from, you must first break your mind's addiction to small numbers. You are addicted to the scale of a human lifespan. You think in years, decades, perhaps centuries. You worry about the next 5 years. The cosmos does not care about your 5-year plan. The cosmos operates in kalpas. The Buddha described the scale of these eons in the Aggañña Sutta, a scripture that deals with beginningless nature of samsara. He said, "A first point is not known. There is no start button. There is only the infinite churning of the machine. But how long is a kalpa? The human mind cannot grasp the abstract, so the Buddha used a metaphor that is both hauntingly beautiful and psychologically crushing. Close your eyes and picture a mountain. Not a normal mountain, but a monolith of solid granite. It creates a shadow that stretches for miles. This rock is a single cubic stone, 7 miles high, 7 miles wide, and 7 miles long. It has no cracks, no crevices, no vegetation. It is sheer, brutal solidity. Now, imagine that once every 100 years, not every day, not every month, But once a century, a celestial being, a deva, flies past this mountain. This deva holds a piece of the finest, softest silk from Varanasi. As the deva flies past, they gently graze the tip of the mountain with the silk. Just a whisper of fabric against stone. That is all. One touch every 100 years. The time it would take for that massive granite mountain to be worn down to the ground purely by the microscopic friction of that silk cloth is not even one kalpa. That is one cycle. And you who are worried about your credit score, you who are worried about a wrinkle on your forehead, you have lived through more copper than there are grains of sand in the river Ganges. You have been the king of worlds, and you have been the worm in the mud over and over again, across a span of time that renders the concept of history utterly meaningless. This is the vibration of silence that Buddhism asks you to tune into. It is a scale of deep time that is designed to humiliate your ego. It renders your status, your wealth, your anxieties, and your identity completely microscopic. When you truly internalize this scale, the question of where do I come from shifts. You do not come from a country. You do not come from a time period. You come from the infinite. You are a traveler who has forgotten the destination because the journey has been so violently long. Buddhism describes the universe as a living organism. It is not a static stage where humans play out a drama. The stage itself is alive, and the stage is dying. The Aggañña Sutta details this cosmic respiration with frightening clarity. There are periods of samvata, or universal contraction. This is the apocalypse. But it is not a sudden explosion, it is a slow, grinding dissolution. The texts say that the rains will cease. The vegetation will wither. A second sun will appear in the sky, then a third, then a fourth, until 7 suns blaze in the firmament. The heat becomes absolute. The rivers boil away. The oceans evaporate into salt flats and then into dust. The very fabric of matter, earth, water, fire, and air is incinerated. The galaxies collapse in on themselves, retreating back into the void. Where do you go during this apocalypse? If the physical universe is destroyed, where does consciousness go? The Buddha was a master of the mind, and he taught that consciousness is not a byproduct of the brain. The brain is merely a receiver for consciousness. When the radio is smashed, the signal remains. As the physical universe collapses into fire and void, the sentient beings you, me, the billions of souls caught in this web are forced to migrate. We are reborn into the higher realms, specifically the Abhassara Brahma world. This is the era of luminosity. This is the true ancestry of the human race. The Abhassara realm is the realm of streaming radiance. It is a dimension of existence that exists above the destruction of the physical plane. It is a frequency of pure, unadulterated consciousness. Imagine this state. You have no physical body. You have no heavy bones to carry, no blood to pump, no organs that succumb to cancer or rot. You are mind-made. You are self-luminous. You do not need a sun or a moon because you glow with your own internal brilliance. You are a star unto yourself. In this state, you do not walk, you glide. You move through the ether propelled by the sheer energy of intention. You do not eat solid food. You do not need to kill or harvest or chew. You feed on pity, on rapture. The sheer joy of existence is your sustenance. You are fueled by bliss. There is no gender here. There is no he or she, no male or female. These are biological constraints, tools for reproduction in a lower density. In the Abhassara, you are complete. There is no sexual desire because there is no lack. There is no greed because there is no matter to hoard. There is no war because there is no territory. We existed in this state for eons. We floated above the dark, churning potentiality of the destroyed universe, shining in the void, complete and radiant. This is the memory that haunts you. This is why you look at the stars and feel a pang of homesickness. You remember, deep in the sub-atomic archives of your mind, what it felt like to be light. But the wheel must turn. The law of impermanence applies even to the gods. The Abhassara beings are not enlightened, they are merely on a very long vacation. Their karma is still active, sleeping like a dormant virus. The universe begins to expand again. The Vivata phase begins. A great darkness covers the deep. The chaos stabilizes. A new earth forms, not the green and blue marble we know, but a primal, watery mass, dark and silent. And here begins the tragedy of the human condition. Here is the fall. It was not caused by a snake offering an apple. It was not a punishment from an angry deity. It was caused by curiosity. It was caused by the subtle, creeping vibration of boredom and craving. As the waters of the new earth cooled, a substance formed on the surface. The Pali texts call it rasa, pathavi, or earthly essence. The Buddha described it with sensory precision. It was beautiful, fragrant, and sweet. It looked like the finest ghee or pure butter, and it tasted like pure wild honey. It was the skin of the new world. We, the luminous beings, hovering above this new matter, looked down. We were curious. We were restless. One being, perhaps it was you. Perhaps it was me, driven by a flicker of desire, dipped a finger into this substance. He tasted it. That moment was the catastrophe. That single drop of sweetness on the tongue of a light being triggered a chain reaction that spans billions of years. The taste was pleasurable. It created a sensation of Tanha, of craving. It was a sensory explosion in a mind that had known only peace. The being ate more. He scooped it up. He gorged on it. Other beings, seeing this, imitated the action. The herd mentality is not a modern invention. It is as old as the cosmos. We descended from the ether like falling stars. We dipped our fingers. We feasted on the earth. We were eating the world, but in reality, the world was eating us. The consequences of this consumption were horrifyingly slow and absolute. As we ate the gross, heavy matter of the earth, our subtle, high vibration bodies began to coarsen. You become what you eat. The heaviness of the food weighed down the lightness of the mind. The luminosity, our natural, internal light, began to flicker and fade. Imagine the panic. Imagine the collective psychological trauma of a species that has known only light, suddenly finding itself plunging into darkness. As our inner light extinguished, the world outside went black. We had not yet needed the sun or moon, for we were the light. Now we were blind in a cold, dark universe. Terror gripped the collective consciousness. It was only then, out of necessity and the force of our collective karma, that the celestial bodies became visible to our perception. The sun appeared to banish the terror of the dark. The moon appeared to mark the night. We had entered the realm of time. We were no longer timeless beings. We were creatures of the day and night, bound by the clock. It is a condensation of spirit into matter. It is a tragedy of density. As we continued to feast on the earth, our bodies solidified completely. We grew skin to hold the organs. We grew heavy bones to support the weight. We grew intestines to process the dirt we were eating. And with form came difference. In the realm of light, we were uniform in our radiance. But now, some beings appeared beautiful, and others appeared ugly. This depended entirely on the purity of their past karma. Mana or conceit. The beautiful ones looked at the ugly ones and felt superior. I am better than you. Look at my form. The ugly ones felt resentment. Arrogance arose. The vibration of arrogance is a destructive frequency. It corrupted the earthly essence. The sweet honey, earth, vanished, replaced by coarser vegetation mushroom, like fungi. We ate the fungi. Our bodies grew harder. The conceit grew stronger. The fungi vanished, replaced by creepers. We ate the creepers. Finally, the food source devolved into wild rice. With every step down the culinary ladder, our bodies became denser, more animalistic. And then the most profound and catastrophic shift occurred: the development of sexual organs. The Buddha explains this with clinical detachment. Those beings who had strong masculine traits in past lives developed male organs. Those with feminine traits developed female organs. Before this, love was a resonance of minds. It was telepathic and pure. Now, with these new, strange, bifurcated bodies, beings looked at each other and felt a pull-magnetic, biological lust. They became obsessed with each other as forms. Passion arose. The burning fever of sexuality took hold. They engaged in sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this act was seen as shocking. It was viewed as a perversion of our noble heritage. Other beings, seeing a couple engaged in sex, would throw dirt, ash, and cow dung at them, screaming, "Perish! Filth! How can a being do such a thing to a being?" This is a racial memory. This is why, even today, in the deepest, most primal part of the human psyche, there is a complex shame associated with sexuality. It is not just cultural conditioning. It is a distant, echoing memory of a time when we were too pure for such friction, when we did not need to rub bodies together to feel a moment of unity. To hide their immoral acts from the shaming crowd, the beings built huts. They built walls. They invented privacy. And with privacy came the concept of the household. The slide from godhood to humanity was accelerating. We were no longer spirits, sir. We were domestic animals. We have explored the biological fall. Now we must look at the sociological fall. The story continues with the wild rice. At first, the rice grew naturally. It was pearl white, without husk or powder. You could harvest it in the morning for the morning meal, and by evening it would have grown back. It was effortless abundance. There was no need to work. There was no need to store. There was no need to hoard. It was a utopia of trust. But the mind had become corrupted by laziness and greed. One being thought, "Why should I fetch rice every single day? It is a hassle. I will gather enough for 2 days at once." He hoarded. When another being asked him to come gather food, he said, "No, I have enough stored." The second being saw this and thought, "That is a clever idea. If he can store for 2 days, I will store for 4 days." Another stored for 8. Because the rice was being hoarded, the natural regeneration cycle was broken. The earth could not keep up with the greed of the mind. The rice stopped growing back instantly. It became encapsulated in hard husks. It grew in clumps. It required labor to clear, plant, and harvest. The abundance of the golden age was over. Scarcity had been invented not by the earth, but by the human mind. With scarcity came the need for division. Beings gathered and said, "Let us divide the rice fields. This is my plot. That is your plot." This was the birth of private property. And inevitably, as night follows day, with private property came the shadow of theft. A being, fearing his own supply would run out, stole rice from another's plot. He was caught. He was scolded. He was hit with fists, then with clods of earth, then with sticks. Lying was born when the thief denied his crime. Punishment was born when the community retaliated. The chaos became unbearable. The law of the jungle threatened this to destroy nascent human society. The beings realized they could not govern themselves individually. Their internal moral compass was shattered. They gathered together and made a decision that shapes our lives to this day. They selected the most physically imposing, capable, and fair-minded individual among them. They said, we will give you a portion of our rice. In return, you will judge who is right and wrong. You will uphold justice. You will punish the wicked. You will be the Mahasamata, the great elect. This was the first king, the first government, the first tax system, the first police force. Do you see the trajectory? In the Western view, civilization is an ascent. We start as savages and build our way up to democracy, technology, and order. In the Buddhist view, civilization is a tragic necessity. It is a bandage to put over the wound of our own greed. We created laws because we lost our internal morality. We created economies because we lost our trust in abundance. We created kings because we could no longer rule our own hearts. Now, let us zoom out. Does this ancient story contradict science? On the contrary, it anticipates it with frightening accuracy. Modern astrophysics tells us the universe began with a singularity, a point of infinite density, and expanded. The Buddha speaks of the expansion and contraction of world systems. Modern physics speaks of the multiverse, the idea that our universe is just one bubble in a cosmic foam of realities. The Aggañña Sutta describes the 10,000 world systems, a cosmos teeming with other realms, other stars, other humanities. The Buddha described the universe as a sahasa, maha sahasa, lokadhatu, a major world system consisting of thousands of smaller worlds. He spoke of the relativity of time, stating that 50 human years are but a single day in the realm of the Katarmaharajika devas. This is time dilation, stated thousands of years before Einstein penned the theory of relativity. But the most striking parallel is in the concept of evolution itself. Darwin saw the evolution of the body, the hardware. The Buddha saw the evolution of the mind, the software. Science says we adapt to the environment. Buddhism says we create the environment through our collective karma, and then are trapped by it. The environment is not a separate stage, it is the reflection of our collective consciousness. When our minds were liquid and luminous, the world was liquid and luminous. When our minds became hard, selfish, and segmented, the world became hard, obstructing, and divided by borders. This is the principle of dependent origination. Nothing exists in isolation. Your body, your planet, your society, it is all a complex, interlocking web of cause and effect. The Big Bang was not a random explosion. It was the karmic fruition of the previous universe's consciousness seeking a new home. So here you are. You have fallen from the Abhassara realm. You have passed through the stages of eating earth, growing bones, developing gender, hoarding rice, and building empires. You have drifted through the ocean of samsara for eons, shedding bodies like old clothes. Where does that leave you today? It leaves you holding the most precious commodity in the known universe, a human birth. Do not mistake this existence for a punishment. Yes, it is a fall from grace, but it is also a tactical advantage. It is a rare, crystalline opportunity. The Buddha used the metaphor of the blind turtle to adjust how statistically impossible it is for you to be sitting here, listening to these words. Imagine the entire earth is covered in a single, vast ocean. A single, blind turtle swims in these black depths. It has no direction, no sight. Once every 100 years, only once it surfaces for a single breath of air. Now, imagine there is a single wooden yoke, small ring, like a life preserver floating on this endless ocean. It drifts aimlessly, blown by the wind, pushed by the tides, west, east, north, south. It never stops moving. The Buddha asked his monks, what are the chances that the blind turtle, surfacing once a century, will accidentally pop its head right through the hole of that drifting yoke? The monks replied, it is virtually impossible, Lord. It might happen once in an eternity by sheer chance. The Buddha declared, it is harder for a being in the lower realms to obtain a human birth than for the blind turtle to find that yoke. Why? Why is this life so valuable? Because the human realm is the only realm perfectly balanced for awakening. In the hell realms, there is too much pain. You cannot meditate when you are burning, you can only scream. In the animal realm, there is too much ignorance. You are driven only by survival and instinct. In the heaven realms, there is too much pleasure. The gods are drunk on bliss. They are playing harps and drinking nectar, unaware that their credit card is running out. They do not seek a way out because they do not feel the fire. But you have the perfect mix. You have enough suffering to make you seek a solution, and enough intelligence to find the path. You have the pain of loss, the pain of aging, the pain of separation, but you also have the capacity for love, for wisdom, and for focus. You are standing at the exact intersection of crisis and opportunity. Where do humans come from? You come from the light. You come from a dimension of unity, radiance, and flight. You are a fallen god, suffering from amnesia, trapped in a suit of biodegradable armor. But the story does not end with the fall. The point of knowing your origin is not to make you depressed about your current state. It is to remind you of your destiny. You are not merely a biological machine designed to eat, sleep, reproduce, and die. You are a dormant sun. The path of the Buddha, the Noble Eightfold Path, is not just a set of ethical rules to make you a nice person. It is a reverse engineering process. It is a deconstruction. It is a way to shed the heaviness of the earth. When you practice generosity, you are countering the greed that made us hoard the rice. When you practice morality, you are countering the chaos that required the creation of kings. When you practice meditation, you are simulating the contraction of the universe within your own body. When you sit in silence, when you calm the breath, you are withdrawing from the senses. You are ignoring the earthly essence. You are letting the world of form dissolve. And in that silence, when the static of the ego quiets down, something ancient begins to stir. The Abhassara luminosity within you begins to shine again. You realize that you are not the body. You are not the history. You are not the trauma. You are the watcher. You are the light that has been trapped in the rock. You are a traveler who has walked a very long road. You have been the king, the beggar, the tiger, and the god. You have seen the universe burn 7 times over. You have tasted the sweetest honey and the bitterest poison. Now, you have the map in your hands. The cycle does not have to go on forever. The snake does not have to eat its tail. The circle can be broken. The Buddha did not come to tell us we are sinners. He came to tell us we are sleeping giants. The origin is light. The destination is nirvana, the unconditioned, the deathless, the supreme peace that is higher than the Abhassara, higher than the stars, higher than existence itself. The earth is not your home. It is your school, and the lesson is nearly over. Wake up. The turtle has found the yolk. The air is filling your lungs. The light is waiting to be reclaimed. Initiate awakening.